Hi, and welcome to our lesson on contract addresses, balances, payable, receive, and fallback. Any contract on its own has a unique address that is generated at deployment. Contract addresses are generated based on the address of the creator and the number of transactions of that account, also known as the nonce. There are two different types of addresses, payable and plain. They have the following members. Address.balance returns the balance of the address in way. Address payable has the transfer method, which sends a given amount of way to address and reverts on failure. Transfer forwards 2300 gas, and this is not adjustable. Address payables have the send method, which is just like transfer in that it sends a given amount of way to an address. However, instead of reverting on failure, it returns false. Send also has the 2300 gas stipend, which is non-adjustable. Address.call is a method which issues a low-level call with the given payload and returns a success condition and return data. Call forwards all available gas, and it is adjustable. Call is actually the preferred method to send Ether as opposed to transfer or send. This is because, with changes to the EVM, there is no guarantee that the 2300 gas stipend is going to be enough to successfully transfer Ether, especially if a contract implements logic in the receive or fallback functions, but we'll look into this later. Delegate call is similar to call, except it provides special permissions to the externally called contract or address. Delegate call deserves its own lesson and is not to be used lightly. Please look into it before using it in your own contracts. And lastly, there is static call, which is similar to delegate call. I encourage you to read the Solidity docs to learn more about these two functions as they are very complex. A smart contract can receive ETH and have an ETH balance only if there is a payable function defined or a fallback/receive function. Let's get into how a contract can receive ETH in multiple ways. Simply by sending ETH to a contract from an externally owned account. In this case, the contract would need a receive or fallback function. You can also call a payable function in the contract and send ETH with that transaction. Let's look at receive and fallback functions in code. Here we have our contract deposit. Receive functions were defined in Solidity 0.6, and a contract can only have one. It is declared by using the keyword receive, followed by parentheses and external payable. Receive functions must be given the visibility external and payable. The receive function will execute on calls to the contract with no data, such as simple ETH transfers from externally owned accounts or calls made via send or transfer functions. Note that receive cannot have arguments or return anything, and it must have external visibility and the payable modifier. We also define a fallback function beneath it. The fallback function is run when a call is made to this contract, but the function signature does not match any existing function on our contract, hence why it is called fallback. It runs when there is no other function relevant enough to run. Fallback will also run on ETH transfers with .call, .send, .transfer, except if there is a receive function that will receive priority in terms of .send and .transfers. Note that if we deployed this contract without either of these functions, and somebody tried to send Ether to it, that transaction would revert. You can see on line 26 we have a simple function called getBalance, which is of type view, and it returns the balance of this contract. You can see we use address parentheses this to explicitly convert this to type address, and then access its balance by using the .balance method.